Hey there YouTube, AC here. Today we'll be showing you how to properly adjust your chain. Now let me show you the tools that you're going to need to get started. Alright, so first things first, you are going to need a rear stand to prop up the wheel. Then next, you're going to need a breaker bar, a torque wrench. This is the tool that we're going to be using to adjust the chain. So this is pretty much how to adjust your chain for dummies, really. And then we have a Motion Pro chain alignment tool, I guess you could call it. This is pretty much just a little guide to kind of help you keep your chain aligned besides the markings that I'll show you on the bike. Then we have a red marker. Now that's going to be used to mark the side of the nut, which I'll get to in a second. A 10mm wrench and a 12mm wrench. Then you're also going to need a 36mm socket, and that's going to be to remove the axle nut on the other side, which is located on the exhaust side. And then lastly is going to be a little mat to save your knees, because you definitely don't want to be putting your knees on the concrete or whatnot, so having a little cushion like that kind of would help you out, making the job a little bit more comfortable to work with. Alrighty guys, if you guys have axle sliders like I do, I have these Evotech axle sliders, as you can see. If you do, you're going to have to remove these to get to the axle nut behind it. If you happen to have it, if you don't, then you could skip this part. Alright, the socket size for these particular rear sliders is going to be 13mm on both ends. So 13 on this side, 13 on the other side. Okay, now that we got the axle nut already loose, now if you're going to notice over here at the back of the swing arm, there are some little indicator marks. You want to make sure you count how many marks are on each side, and you want to really make sure that the end of this block, or the adjuster part, is going to line up on both sides evenly. So that's one thing. Next, what we're going to do really is we are going to mark our adjustment nut. Now we're going to have to go ahead and loosen both. This one's going to be with a 12mm wrench, and this one over here is going to be with the 10mm. So we're going to loosen up this one, but we're not going to mark that one. We're going to mark this one. So right now, I'm just going to grab my red marker here. And the reason we're marking it is because we want to make sure that we, know how many turns or whatnot that we've done. And it's kind of hard to like really gauge or, keep track of, I would say, on how many turns you did. You may not remember. So by marking it, you'll actually know how many turns you did. So let me just go ahead and mark the face right here on this side. You're just gonna mark only one face like that. So that way when you do turn it, if you did it like a half a turn, if you did one full turn, you'll know that the marking is gonna be towards the bottom. If you did a half a turn or whatnot, you'll know where the marking is. So same thing we're gonna do on the other side. All right, as you can see, I got my one marking on this side. And then when we go to the other side, you can see I have my marking right there. Now you can go ahead and loosen up your nut right here. And you don't have to loosen it up all the way like out here. Just loosen it up just a little bit. Okay, now next what you want to do is you want to just count the markings right now, just as a reference. That way you know how many clicks you are out or in. Now for me, this is going to be my first adjustment on this bike, and I counted 6. So 5 of these little small lines, and then right as the edge of this piece is, it's pretty much on the 6th mark, and it's just going to be the same thing on the other side. Now that I know, now we could just go ahead and start. Now this tool is made by BPA Racing, and as you can see right here, there it is. It's pretty much made out of aluminum, and it has indicator marks here. Now if you haven't seen my video on how to calibrate this tool, there should be a video right up here somewhere on the top of the screen of a video on how to properly adjust it. Just letting you know that if you do buy the tool, it comes in a few different colors: red, blue, I believe, probably gold or yellow, and personal preference on the paint or whatever. The tool do the same thing. Now you're going to notice over here on the top there are some indicator marks. Now this one is going to be showing you where your chain is. The little wavy line right here means that the chain is too loose. The straight line means that the chain is too tight. You want to make sure that your indicator goes to the middle, because that's where it should be just right. All right, so here is the back of the tool, if you guys haven't seen the other video. So so pretty much what we're going to do, and there's a lot of tension on this spring, so be very careful when installing this tool onto the chain. As you can see, my chain is super loose. It's definitely time for a tightening. So what you're going to do right now is you're going to go ahead and slide this top peg onto the top part of your chain. It doesn't matter really where you put the tool. And you want to make sure you put it on one of the little curved indentations of the chain. So it's like this. And then I'm going to put my thumb here, and I'm going to hold it on the chain because I don't want it to slip out. What you want to do is you want to put this part of the tool on top of the chain. So let me go ahead and put it so you guys can see. At the same time, I'm going to hold it. So I'm going to go ahead. And pretty much when you put it, you're going to have to slide this thing out just a little bit to get it over the link. But not too much, because, you definitely don't want it to hurt you. All right. And then you're going to push it in. And there you go. All right, so now that the tool's on there, All right, guys, now you see that the tool is on the chain, and you can see that the indication is showing that the chain is a bit on the loose side. Now we're gonna go ahead and adjust the tensioning. So it's gonna be with these, the one over here, it's gonna be with the 10mm wrench. And we're just gonna adjust it a little bit. Go little by little. When you start adjusting it, you wanna make sure that you do it for both sides. Don't just do one side, because then your wheel is gonna be misaligned, and that's not gonna be good. All right, guys, so now we're gonna start adjusting the chain. So note, when you're adjusting the chain, when you're adjusting the nuts, I'm saying over here, when you're adjusting these guys on both sides, you have to remove the tool. Because right now the tool is putting tension on the chain, and you definitely don't want to get a misreading when you're tightening it down. Because obviously when you see the chain thing is on there, it's pretty tight. So you definitely don't want to have a miss information about the chain. So right now I'm going to go ahead and move this, take it out, and then we're gonna adjust the chain, and then we're gonna put the tool back on there and then check the reading. All right, I already did a few turns on the screws, so let's go ahead and check our reading. Put the tool back on there. There we go. And as you can see, it is getting better. I would say just a few hairs of a turn, but as you can see, right now we're almost there on getting it just right. So I'm gonna go ahead and just turn them ever so slightly. Then we're gonna go ahead and put the tool back on and check our readings. Alrighty, guys, I did a few more adjustments there. Now let's go ahead and put our tool and check the adjustment. All right, so go ahead and put that on there now. Sorry for moving the camera. All right. There we go, and all right. It looks we are spot on in the center, and that's what you want. I gotta hand it to this tool. It's the first time actually me really using it, and it is amazing. No more guesswork on where you really need to have the chain adjusted, as this little guy will help you out. All right, so now that we have everything adjusted, as you can see, it's already right smack dab in the middle. Now we can go ahead and tighten down everything up. Right now I have that there. So you wanna go ahead and you wanna tighten down your screws here. This is gonna be with the 12. Go ahead and put that finger tight right now. Do the same with the other one, and then just go ahead and tighten it down. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I could go ahead and remove this tool. Now you see, pull it up like that, and there we go. And then if I were to put my hand on it, much better. So now for good measure, unfortunately I have this chain guard up here that's gonna be a bit of a pain in the butt to actually remove, because this is where this tool actually goes in place. It attaches right here, and it pretty much goes up here like that. And with that, you're able to see the alignment of your chain if you're not too sure, because the rod will align with the chain over here. So what I'm gonna do is, I wanna do it a little bit backwards. I'm just gonna put it towards the bottom here. And you wanna do is just loosen up this screw, put it against the sprocket right here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten it all the way down, kind of towards the bottom right here, as I'll be reading seeing how aligned the chain is from the bottom. Like I said, if you're not too sure, and if your indicator marks are not really well visible, this is another way to check alignment of your wheel and your chain. So as you can see right here, there's the rod. I know this is kind of a backwards scenario, but you gotta work with what you have. So I'm gonna pretty much get down over here in this area and kind of look towards this way and see how aligned the rod is with the chain. So you want to make sure, let me move the camera a little bit back. So pretty much what you're looking at, here's the chain and here's the rod, you're looking at it this way. You want to make sure that they're both aligned straight. If you see that your rod is slightly this way or slightly that way, that's when you want to adjust the screws here at the back. That's when you want to adjust these guys a little bit more, so that way when you see the rod, they're both aligned straight. So you can see that the chain and the rod are pretty aligned, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a focal point or a spot on the chain. Make sure that the rod is lined up with it. So at this point, it's looking good. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up everything up, and you guys do the same for your bike. All right, next we're gonna do is we're gonna put our socket on our torque wrench. We're gonna set it to 72.5 foot-pounds on the torque wrench. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that on there, and make sure you go all the way to its spec. You have to do it a few times. There we go. That's 72.5. All right. So now we're at spec for that. Okay, so everything is looking good. Let's go back to the front and check one more time. All right, so let's go ahead and put the tool back on the chain and put it back on there. All right, and as you can see, spot on the chain. All right, guys, so that pretty much is going to conclude it. But actually, let me go ahead and put my swing arm sliders back on, and then I'll finish up the video. Alrighty, guys, I already put everything back, as you could see. Now let's go ahead and put our tool one more time, even though I already did check it, to really make sure that everything is up to par. I put the tool back on over here and get this thing up there. All right, and as you can see, it's still spot on right there. Let me go ahead and zoom in for you guys so you guys can see a bit better. There you go. Still spot on, and the chain is perfect. Alrighty, guys, so that pretty much concludes the video. And right now, well, obviously I have the thing on there. Let me go ahead and move the tool so you guys could see for yourself compared to how it was before. Much better. You know, because of the suspension moving up and down and everything, so you want to make sure you don't have it extremely tight. So a lot better than what it was before. I'm gonna go ahead and put the tool right back on there and close out this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash that like button, and if you didn't like the video, smash the dislike button. Let me know in the comments down below why you disliked the videos to help me improve for future ones. Also, if you know anyone else that just recently purchased this tool, or maybe they don't even know about this tool, please share the video. The share button is somewhere down there. Just click, share it to social media, share it to whoever, share it to your friends. You know, this tool will greatly help them because you eliminate that guesswork on, you know, where is the proper adjustment point or the proper tension for your chain. This pretty much will work for all motorcycle chains. Also, if you guys haven't yet subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. The button is right down here somewhere. Oh, a nice big red rectangle button. Hit the subscribe. That way you guys are all caught up to my latest uploads. And let me see if I'm forgetting anything else. I think that's about it. You guys take care, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.